Hello. Sorry, I not so good speak. I speak not so good English. I must see on my paper. I must read on this paper. Okay. Yes. Today I want to begin to tell my story. When I was born 33 years ago, my family consisted of my mother, my father, my 15 years old sister and my brother. He is 10 years older than me. My parents were at this time much controversy. My father had many other women, was choleric and was not more kind to my mother. He also told her that she could have an abortion myself. She did not. I could not help it. They had fight. When my parents divorced when I was 1 year old, that was good thing. The dispute had become unbearable for my mother. She cried a lot. My sister said so. When I was 3 years old, my sister got married and moved out, and I was left sad. My brother had no time. He was all day at school, and I felt very lonely. At 5 years old, I was so sad about it that my world was black. I had depression and wanted to die. I do not know how I got it. No one had told me that you can kill yourself. I measured many tablets out of the clothes to my mother. I took them all. I was just bad about it. I had been homeopathic pills, but I did not know then. Yes, and then I wanted to save me a lot of money and hire people kill me in my sleep at night. I wanted to write a note for those people that he did not come into prison because I wanted to. It was a crazy idea. Of course, I found no one who did that. I often went into the woods hoping I would murder someone, but that did not happen. I just felt empty. From there, I often went out without asking. My mother had no find myself often. I walked through the city and through the woods and wanted to experience adventure. At home, it was boring. I often did not know where I live and how I get back home. I ask everyone if they know me and if anyone knows where I live. And I did that until someone knew. Then I was taken home. My mother was very embarrassed. Okay. She barely had time because she worked from home until night by 3. They treated beads on strings. She was often that tired and broken. I had no friends and I was always alone. My family belonged to the Jehovah's Witnesses, so we also celebrated no birthday, no Christmas. Since there were no other Jehovah's Witnesses children near, I was alone. With 7 years, I finally came to school. Yeah. I was very pleased. I was really, really happy. I wanted to meet other children and play with them. Oh, I think it's meat. Okay. Although I wanted to meet other children and play with them. But after a few weeks, something happened. When I moved alone through the city once again, I had to poop. I went behind a church. It was autumn. Leaves flew through the air and piled up into hills. The church was somewhat isolated. I squatted down behind the church and did my business. Suddenly, the rear church door opened and a man who looked like a priest came out. He was dressed in black. He came to me and I was shocked. I was trembling. It was so embarrassing. He said he had to tell my mother, or there would still be a possibility. He wanted to make my butt clean. Then he would tell no one. He pushed me to the church wall and stood behind me. He had black fingernails and it was the cemetery gardener, also der Friedhofsgärtner in Deutsch. He also dug out graves. The earth was still hanging in his fingernails. Wow. My pants still hanging below. He stuck his fingers in my vagina and butt and scratching around in it. It hurt like hell. Tears fell from my face and drops onto the stones. And it felt like a movie, unreal. It took 10 minutes. It felt when this man would have rammed a knife into my stomach. Blood running down my legs. I thought I must die, but I was so scared that he says my mother, which I did. Jehovah's Witnesses do not want anything to do with the church. They say it was the wrong religion and comes from the devil. So I wanted to prevent this man goes to my mother. If we had not been Jehovah's Witnesses, I might have even told my mother, but I could not. Then he let me go home. 3 weeks I could barely walk. My vagina was inflamed. He had drilled me with the earthy fingers around in it. Dirt and germs have therefore spread in my body. This man this man has made it fun to torment me because he hated women. He was gay. I learned as an adult by the police. I told no one until I was about 20 years old. In school, I always had good grades in the first 2 years. I was everywhere on one rating. It drew me to learn from, and I cried when holidays were. Actually, that would have been enough to be unhappy, but it was much worse. I'll tell you in the next video. Okay, bye, and sorry that I not so good speak English, but in German I can this not say. I have a channel in Germany, but I can't this say there. Yes, I say this here. Okay, bye.
With a house in my head, scream